I am afraid of my teen explosive behavior. If things don't go her way, all hell breaks loose.
It is not okay to be afraid of your teen's explosive behavior. Actually, they did a great job training you. Let's talk about it. Like everybody in the world, there is a stage in a child stage. We call it the smart compass of life, where they have to learn to manage their emotions. And it's when the parents start to explain that the way you feel has nothing to do with anybody else on the planet. Yes, we are into this era where I'm entitled to feel, yeah, but the way you feel, it is your problem to solve, your triggers to discover, and you are responsible of behavior. So an explosive behavior is not acceptable. There is a lot of drama in a house where a teenager or anybody else is allowed to explode, especially in the case where the parent is afraid of a child. I'm like, come on. So we're not going to be able to lower this drama from 100 to 0. Doesn't work like that. When somebody is angry, you just don't go, oh, go to your room and meditate. Doesn't work like that. But we can lower it step by step by step. And this is exactly what we are teaching in Teenager Transformational Formula. But I'm going to give you right now the short breakup of this. So they need to understand that this is childish behavior. This is acceptable for a 2-year-old, not acceptable from a teenager who's going to be a young adult. And any other manipulation techniques that they use, because this is one of them, to make you the parent do whatever or being afraid of them or stuff like that, you need to cut it off as a parent. We do have at the Anti-Depression Institute this kind of adults having these kind of behaviors hidden, like passive-aggressive behaviors, at the age of 50 or 60. They never learn how to manage their emotions as teenagers. They are not considering themselves responsible for their emotions. They always think that somebody else made me do it, which doesn't exist. So we need to teach the teenagers right now that the way you feel, it is your responsibility to fix or not. Emotions are internal because they have to do with you and not anybody else on the planet. So they need to go through these kind of discussions, and they need to be cut off how they deal with anger. Practically, the drama needs to be lowered down because you don't want them to hide it. You don't want to hide the anger because it's going to explode in some other way, sometimes through illnesses. But you want to lower it step by step by step. It is usually taking a couple of months. It's what we saw. But with the right strategy and by example, I am responsible for the way I feel. You are responsible for the way you feel. It is okay if nothing goes your way and you want to explode right now. It's actually just a test from life to see, are you still angry? Are you still not able to adapt to changes? Because 1% of things will go your way or the way you think in life, and 99% will not. So this kind of teaching where you take responsibility for the way you feel. And if there are negative emotions involved, like anger and worry and anxiety, we need to teach the young adult how to transform these into their superpowers, how to take the best out of it and their strategies for it. And we are teaching that. So this is overall what we are doing in Teenager Transformational Formula, one of our programs. And yes, this is not acceptable. This is not acceptable. But if you fall into this trap and you're also afraid, I would suggest you learn with them. Because theoretically speaking, you should not be afraid of your teenager explosive behavior. You should just, okay, you want to explode, get out, scream in the forest. I don't care. Grow up. Period. We have, in our need to protect our children, sometimes we have done things too much and we have accepted too much as parents. And you give them a finger and they take a whole hand. We need not necessarily to set boundaries, but to set the expectations, right? Because in the real life, this is unacceptable. And this is only a test. In the family, it is only a test. It is only a practice test of how they going to have to behave in real life. If they don't pass this test in the family, then trust me, they're going to blame you for their feelings later on in life. We see this all the time. So we need to get out of this childish behavior and start growing up and fix whatever needs to be fixed. For any other questions you might have, make sure you go to mychallenges.org to get your free answer.